For me too, just watching your journey, and I think this is, and we talked a little bit before, so I asked you if you were comfortable to kind of talk about some of the stuff you've been struggling with, and things like that recently. But since I've known Tim, I don't know. I guess I've had people in my life, who've had like substance problems and stuff. Um, so it's I know how hard it is, through their lenses. You know what I'm saying? It's affected some of my family personally for very very hard. And thankfully they've overcome it. Seen the other side, and I'm just grateful for that and grateful for them. But that's a one big thing, for sure with the music and the messaging is, your recovery, your, ability to, make sure you're on a good path. And, that's one thing I feel like is, we should, I asked before just because I know how sometimes with, podcasts and stuff, people love to just kind of clip things and do what they do and paint narratives and all that kind of stuff. So I guess this is more a way for you to paint your own narrative on what's been happening in your life with sobriety. And again, since I've known you, it's been kind of on and off.
No,
sure. I mean, we've always gotten work done. We've always you've always maintained, and that's the thing about it too. This is also a story of like perseverance as well, because through all that you could have just stopped doing this and we wouldn't even be here doing this and continuing to create content and drop music. You've dropped 2025. You already have 4 singles out this year, already dropping music back to back to back. So obviously you're killing it. But yeah, just like, kind of speak on it a little bit and like, what has been your journey with, sobriety in your life?
I'm Timothy. I'm an alcoholic. Oh man, I can say that I am an alcoholic.
No, for sure.
And I am, man.
Yeah.
I was raised by alcoholics and drug addicts.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen partying my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I knew as a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a funny story, but it's not. As a little tyke, my uncle poured wild turkey in my bottle to try to get me to go to sleep, and I stayed up all night long.
Jesus.
I mean, I had the gene right off the
Jesus.
So it's like, it's something that I've battled since early adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's like probably 12 years old. And it's up until 2020, I always thought everything else was the problem. Like, they don't understand me. Well, she needs to just learn how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about me anyways. All these excuses that I used to use to, kind of cover up the fact that I was struggling with substance abuse.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And so in 2020, I kind of got sat down by the state of Georgia. And
the state got involved.
Yeah. And I was able to kind of take a look at things.
Yeah.
Luckily, instead of doing any type of real time, I was offered an accountability program.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me to stay sober. And I mean, I picked up almost 2 years, right? And so through that journey, it's funny because in the rooms they say you get a head full of recovery and a belly full of booze, and it just don't go good together. Because you know exactly what it does to you, right? And so it has been a struggle over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
You're self-inflicted. It's no one else's fault but my own, right? And so through this journey, I think the main thing that I can hold on to is that perseverance.
Yeah.
The fact that I've just never given up.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like I tell everyone, man, I have a heart for recovery. I long to be sober.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't look at that past 24 hours, man.
Yeah.
I've got 24 hours at a time to keep this thing whooped.
Yeah.
And that amount of time in a 24-hour increment, I can do it. I can't do it alone, but
Right.
I can do it.
Right.
And so I'm very grateful to have the people in my life
Yeah.
that are supportive of my recovery. The people that push me, even to the point where I don't like it.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, that's really what helps me stay sober. And I don't like it. And I buck it.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, yeah, I would love to just go out and drink and have fun like everyone else can do,
Just turn up.
and just turn up and be okay with that.
Yeah.
But I can't,
Yeah.
because I put alcohol in my body
Mm.
and I have no control,
Yeah.
none whatsoever.
Yeah.
For some people that's different,
Right.
but for me personally, I have no control.
Yeah.
It's the first drink that always gets me drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, what does that mean? Because once there's one, there's going to be 1,000.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not just having a beer. You know what I mean? And I take it to the extreme.
Yeah.
Um, and so, one of the things that I hold on to, man, is just the fact that I've got a relationship with God, with Jesus Christ, that keeps me in a mind space of, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. I can't do it alone, and I can't do it without Him.
Right.
So, that's one of my biggest testimonies right there, is the fact that I can surrender my life, and I don't have to surrender for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I just have to surrender today, and I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it today.
For sure. And I mean, again, like, obviously getting you okay, to talk about, some of this stuff, because I bet, how's it, I mean, when we start working, like in
23.
2023. So it's like, 2 years, almost coming up on 3, you know what I'm saying? And like, been a part of some of that, and I think the one thing that I think hit you today when we're talking, and we're like, driving up here, um, you know, is the fact that like I'm at this point, knowing you for this long now, at this point, 2 years, almost 3 years, like because I don't know, for me, like you seem like such a strong-willed person, and you're a smart dude, and like you're talented, you have your business as well that you have, and you know it's just like, so for me it's like, well, he can just not do this,
Just not do
he's
it.
smart enough to not. But I think this time around, like when I, all the conversations that happened this weekend, and throughout all the content and stuff, it's like, yeah, I guess I started to be like, you know what, I should probably, like you say, like give you some grace. You know what I mean? Because I guess it's, not to say that it's not easy. I know it's not easy for you, but it's also like, from my perspective now, is like, all right, I should probably be a little more involved. You know what I mean? Help you out, and like whenever you need, because that's the thing, is like, I feel a lot of this stuff comes from, people are, they feel alone and they don't have anyone, when, some people do. And I think you do have people in your life, but I don't think that's the point though. I think that you do get to a place where you're like, it doesn't even matter if you have those people. Like, this thing is stronger than that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it brings you down to like a level past anyone that, is around you, that does love you and does, want you to win, and want you, want to see you shine. So I think that's my takeaway from this trip for sure. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely been on a good path on this trip, and it's been great. But that's one thing I do notice. Like, I guess for me, as like, I seen you struggle a little bit with it during this trip. Whether it be like personal stuff going on or whatever it is, it's like, yeah, like I can see how it can turn real quick.
Real quick.
On a drop of a dime, you can just be like chilling, and then it's like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Turn up, let's go. So,
And the thing about that is it's great to have all these people in your life, right?
Yeah.
But it's so easy to forward their calls.
Yeah.
It's so easy to not pick up the phone.
Yeah.
When you're in a place of screw it, right? When you feel like you want to self-sabotage,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to call it, you want to go use, or you want to go drink, or whatever it is, and you know that if you get around these people, whoever it is, that are supportive of your recovery, that you may not do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You might not go pick up. You might not go drink.
Yeah.
It's so easy just to, what color is
Right.
it? What color is it gonna be? Green or red?
Yeah.
Green
Yeah.
or red? Which one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that, it's a mixture of things.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of having some solid individuals in your life. Um, it's a it's a combination of actually working a solid program,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say program, I am referring to Alcoholics
Yeah.
Anonymous,
12
um,
steps.
12 steps, but there are other pathways
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's Dharma recovery, there's smart recovery, celebrate recovery. There's some people that can do it just through a spiritual connection.
Yeah.
People have their different ways that they deal with substance abuse
For
and
sure.
getting clean. But ultimately, it all starts with me.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with the ability to make a choice.
Yeah.
And when I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not getting up every morning, doing a daily devotion, uh, getting in God's word, getting in the big book word, meditating. Meditation's huge for me. When I'm not doing those things right there,
Yeah.
that's the start of
Yeah.
it. When I'm getting to a place to where I'm being dishonest, where I'm self-seeking,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm starting to tell little white lies or trying to sneak my way, manipulate my
Mm-hmm.
way in and out of situations, that's another one right there.
Yeah.
When I'm not taking responsibility for the things that I may have done or said that could potentially hurt someone else.
Yeah.
I'm not being considerate of other people. All those things play a huge role in me being able to make a choice in one day
Yeah.
whether or not I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
Because 24 hours at a time, I look at all those things. And if I'm doing those in the right order, if I'm making those right choices, I probably have enough strength built up just in myself to not pick up that day
Mm-hmm.
because I'm working a program,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like.
Yeah, you're doing what you need to do to stay on top of it, and I think that's I think to kind of like conclude it a little bit here. You know, I think that's the thing about it is the 24-hour thing, and I'll just go into a personal thing real quick. But the 24-hour thing is like I'm starting to realize that more on this trip for sure. With you that like it is like legitimately 24 hours with you. It really is.
24.
I get that now. Now I really understand that, but I think there has even been some moments for me recently, like just kind of mentally, not with like substance abuse, but just more like mental stuff, where like I'm kind of getting my own way. Um, you know, I, and I know you've always told me this like through text and stuff when we're working and just getting content out every week. It's like like, you gotta take a break and this, and I'm like, I just grew up around people like my mother and my father immigrated immigrants came from El Salvador, what I'm saying, came to the US, you know what I mean, worked every day of their lives, still work every day, so it's like it's hard to stop
Huh?
because you feel like you're if you stop or whatever and I mean I shout out to my lovely girlfriend, we've done little vacations and she's given me perspective on chilling out here and there or whatever. But that's a thing that maybe it's not substance abuse, but it's maybe it's like a workaholic or workaholism or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
That could probably be something that I need to like keep in check, which I know because recently I've had moments where like I've literally just like not done anything. You know what I mean? Like I'll work, whatever, come home, do my thing, and then it's like I won't even go near that computer. Like knowing you need reels and content stuff, maybe I haven't sent it out to the team to get edited or. So those are things that like I've been recently dealing with that are kind of not to say that I've never been like low or whatever, been sad or whatever in my life, but I feel like it's been more recent that I've actually like looked at it and been like, oh, this is a problem. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like it's like a realization of like, I need to check in with myself a little more.
yeah,
You
definitely.
know what I mean? So, but I appreciate you for talking about this. I know it's, not easy, but I think that, like I said, with the fans and like everyone that, is like basically just like, got into your music and got into your vibe and like your messaging, all the stuff that people have said about their recovery and things like that. I'm like, we like on this go, we got to talk about, we got to take it here, you know what I mean? And
Definitely.
really get
Yeah.
real.